Hello, good evening. You're watching News 360 coming to you at this time due to the match between Portugal and Spain. I am Portia Gabo.
Hello, good evening. I am Noble Crosby Annan, and these are the headlines of the bulletin this evening.
News 360 Headlines is brought to you by Pepsodent Charcoal and Pepsodent Herbal.
EcoBank.
Coming up this evening, unauthorized development continues at Malam Junction Ramsar wetlands, despite the president's directive last year for the area to be restored.
We'll go to the Ashanti region where Menchia Palace unveils Nana Ama Bonsu as new Asante Hima.
Also coming up, lawyers demand former Bufferstock CEO Hanan be produced before court following his rearrest.
Later in business news, financial and tax analyst says early Eurobond payoff set to boost markets, but external sector research needed to sustain stability and protect cedi.
Much later in international news, UN Rights Council orders urgent investigation after condemning rapid support forces escalated violence in Sudan's area. We're live and interactive also on all our social media platforms at TV3 Ghana. Thank you so much for joining us there. Let's settle for the details.
We begin from the Ashanti region where the Menchia Palace has unveiled the 15th Asante Hima on Monday, known in private life as Nana Ama Bonsu. She is currently undergoing the necessary customary rites to confirm her stole name. TV3 also understands that the new Queen Mother is the cousin of the late former and first mayor of Kumasi, Nana Akwesi Ajaman. Let's now cross over to the Ashanti region where our correspondent William Evans Incombe is standing by. William, thank you so much for your time. Can you give us more details about the new Asante Hima?
Well, so her private life has been very discreet among the royals. My understanding is that it is only the Santehene who has the right to let the public know who this particular Queen Mother, now Queen Mother, is and why she was chosen. And my understanding is that in the next Asanteman Council meeting, which will be convened, and we are talking about over 60 paramount chiefs, that is when she will be officially adored. And of course, everything about her will also made known to the public. But this coming Thursday, we also understand that there's going to be Kumasi Traditional Council meeting where Otumfuo will also announce to the chiefs who form the Traditional Council or Kumasi Traditional Council about the new Queen Mother, after which all the chiefs who form the Kumasi Traditional Council will also march straight to the Queen's Mother's Palace and pay homage. So that is what we are expecting in the course of time. But now today, she's still in the Queen's Mother's Palace, undergoing some customary rites. I've also been told that tonight she's likely to pick a stool, and that stool will be named after her. So that is a piece of information that we have at this moment. Portia.
Evans, what's been the reaction and the mood of residents so far?
I mean, nothing short of excitement. I mean, they're very, very elated. I mean, at the Menchia Palace, hear the sound of the conference from announcing that something good has happened. And of course, we also saw a number of Queen Mothers trooping in to also welcome the new Queen Mother. That was very brief, as at 3 p.m. And she has been, if for want of a better word, moved out of the public space to a confinement, if I should put it that way, going through the ritual. But I can tell you that everybody is happy in the Ashanti region. But you see, one particular duty that she will perform after she's gone through the necessary customary rites will be the overseeing of the final funeral rites of the late Santehima, the 14th occupant of the Queen Mother School, that is Nana Kumedia III, who visited Bremai to join her ancestor sometime last year. And she's going to oversee the final funeral rites, after which she will resume her full responsibility as the 15th Queen Mother of the Asante Kingdom. For sure.
Evans, thank you so much for your time, and our correspondent, William Evans Inkum.
Now, away from tradition, nearly 3 months after President John Dramani Mahama pledged to revive the long-stalled La General Hospital, the project, now there are visible signs that construction is gathering pace. This has offered renewed hope to thousands of residents who have waited for years for the return of a major healthcare facility. Sarah Penkro visited the project site and reports.
President Mahama on April 24, 2026 visited the project site and assured residents of the project's completion by November 2027 to ensure they have a referral health facility to meet their health needs.
This is the progress of work when the news team visited on Monday, July 6th. Engineers and construction workers were seen casting pillars and completing the third-floor roof slab. At the same time, other teams carried out masonry work, demonstrating coordinated efforts across the construction site. The ongoing structural and masonry activities indicate steady progress across different sections of the building, with multiple phases of the project advancing simultaneously. Since the demolition of the old La General Hospital in 2020, many expectant mothers, children, the elderly, and emergency patients have had to seek care at distant facilities. For residents of La, Teshi, Nungwa, and surrounding communities, the progress is more than just bricks and concrete. It represents hope for easier access to quality health care, shorter travel times during medical emergencies, and relief from the burden of overcrowded hospitals.
I've been passing here and I do see a lot of trucks coming in. I think last week I saw a lot of concrete mixer trucks coming in here. So I believe there's progress going on, but as to where the progress is, I cannot pinpoint where the progress is. But from what I've seen, it's a steady progress.
They are really working. They're working, be it a holiday, be it a Saturday, be it a Sunday. They're working day, night. They come, they're changing stuff, and running 3 shifts.
However, concerns remain. Some residents allege that workers have been laid off due to a lack of funds since the president's visit, affecting the pace of work.
A shoot no chumo fast few ne she kuno e ballet slow agbene workers say
When he came and left, the work progressed fast. Then it slowed down. Now most of the workers have left. I hear funds haven't come. I will plead with the authorities to visit regularly and engage the workers.
It's progressing but slow, and it's because the workers are few. I heard that the pay is no good, so they keep leaving after a few weeks.
The new hospital, when completed, is expected to strengthen healthcare delivery in the Greater Accra region by expanding specialist services, increasing bed capacity, and improving emergency care for thousands of people.
With construction visibly advancing, residents say they are more optimistic that the long-awaited promise of a modern La General Hospital is finally becoming a reality. Sarah Apenkro, La General Hospital Project Site, Accra.
Let's now go to the courts where lawyers of the former CEO of the National Food Buffer Stock Company, Abdul Wahab Hanan Aludiba, have filed an application at the High Court seeking to compel prosecution to bring their client before the courts following his re-arrest at the Accra International Airport on Saturday, July 4. According to the Deputy Attorney General, Dr. Justice Sremsai, Hanan allegedly attempted to use false means to access his frozen Republic Bank account before leaving for the UK. Lord Idwasari reports.
The former NAFCO CEO and his wife, Faiza Saidu Wuni, were rearraigned in May 2026 on 20 charges, including stealing, defrauding by false pretenses, money laundering, and abuse of public office after the Attorney General withdrew and amended an earlier 24-count charge sheet. The two were granted a combined bail of 63.5 million Ghana cedis, with conditions including depositing their passports with the court registry and reporting periodically to IOCO. Following his arrest on Saturday, Deputy Attorney General Dr. Justice Sremsai hinted that the prosecution will seek a review of the court's order that granted Aludiba leave to travel out of the jurisdiction. Lawyers for Hanan, led by former Attorney General Godfrey Boadame, rejected the allegations by the Deputy Attorney General.
Banded off into custody for no reason whatsoever. He's been given the right to leave the country, to travel to the country for a few days by a court of competent jurisdiction. The Deputy Attorney General himself was in court and argued, and this colleague of mine argued that day. And if indeed he had any objection to the order granted, he only had to appeal. But he had to sort this surreptitious means of preventing from traveling. I think that this is totally unwarranted and unnecessary. My client has never attempted to withdraw any money from his account, even though it is important to state that presently there's no order of any court of competent jurisdiction preventing from accessing his account.
The defense lawyers have subsequently filed a motion for habeas corpus which compels the prosecution to produce their client after they claim that they have not been granted access to him. The High Court on June 29, 2026 granted Hanan Aludiba's application to travel to the UK from July 4 to July 12 to attend a medical appointment after hearing submissions from his lawyers and the prosecution. Lodi Dwasari, TV3 News, Accra.
And still from the court, the Accra High Court has granted an application for abridgment of time to hear the motion for a stay of execution order for the extradition of Abu Trika. Earlier, the court dismissed an attempt by lawyers of the remand scam suspect to move an ex parte motion for an emergency stay of execution order against the court's ruling on July 2. Now, led by Oliver Bakavomawo, the defense lawyers filed an ex parte motion on notice for the court to halt the extradition order pending the appeal against the court's decision, but the High Court, presided over by Justice Abdul Bassett, dismissed the application, directing the defense lawyers to serve the AG's office before moving the motion, which was originally to be heard on July 13. Now, defense lawyers wanted the time abridged, citing concerns about the possible extradition of Abu Trika before the hearing date. Now, details include that the High Court has also, on July 2, dismissed an application for the habeas corpus filed by lawyers of Frederick Kumi, a.k.a. Abu Trika, challenging the constitutionality of his detention.
Court last time, court my order about Frederick Kumi, Abu Trika, extradition on seven. Now, court my order. Yemremuno, who rights over appeal. And in the same way, the appeal no be calling appeal no file that. Into yes record is abra or appeal decision.
And still in court, lawyers of the NPP Ashanti Regional Chairman Bernard Entwibuesiako, aka Chairman Wontumi, say they remain hopeful in the pending plea negotiation with the Attorney General regarding the Exim Bank fraud case. Chairman Wontumi and two others, including his firm, are facing charges of defrauding by false pretense, money laundering, authoring forged documents, and intentionally causing financial loss to a public institution exceeding 30 million cedis.
The NPP Ashanti Regional Chairman Bernard Entwibuesiako, alias Wontumi, initially pleaded not guilty to the 4 charges preferred against him and 2 others. He subsequently initiated plea negotiation after urging his lawyers to write to the Attorney General. In court on Monday, July 6, the prosecution led by Principal State Attorney Joshua Saki prayed for an adjournment to finalize the plea negotiations. Defense counsel led by Andy Appiah-Kubi corroborated that the negotiations were still underway but would require more time to conclude. Presiding Judge Halima Abdul-Basit then granted the adjournment and urged the parties to conclude the negotiations and update the court on July 27. Andy Appiah-Kubi spoke after proceedings.
We may table the proposal, it's being considered. There has been a counter proposal, so we are discussing. So I'm very hopeful that by close of the term, I think that now we will come to this. So we are on it.
Lodi Dasari, TV3 News, Accra.
In more stories this evening, Ghana's border security spanning land, air and sea remain a top priority as government intensifies operations to ensure reliability and safety. At the Ghana Immigration Service Commanders Conference, the Minister of Interior, Muntaka Mohammed Mubarak, highlighted new measures to modernize border management, stressing discipline and collaboration at all levels of command.
Ghana has a total land boundary of approximately 2,420 kilometers. Its northern border is shared entirely with Burkina Faso, stretching about 602 kilometers. Insecurity in Ghana's northern neighbor, Burkina Faso, has heightened concerns about the possible spread of jihadist attacks southward. These concerns have been exacerbated by the country's extensive porous borders and numerous unapproved entry routes. To bolster national security and address recurring challenges, including human trafficking, terrorism, and cyber-enabled threats, the Interior Minister called for stronger cooperation across the Immigration Service.
There's a lot that is going on. I mean, you will patrol vehicles, additional vehicles to support the business. We are currently in the business of procuring about 20 armored vehicles to support your business. It is not just about meeting the satisfaction of men and women of today. I need to face the structural challenges, and we need to face it in the way that we place it in the law, so that if we correct it today, another batch of people do not come tomorrow and mess it up at home.
The Governing Council emphasized the need for discipline within the Ghana Immigration Service, warning that lapses could compromise Ghana's peace, security, and economic confidence. The Controller General of the Ghana Immigration Service said efforts are ongoing to ensure the effective implementation of new systems across the country's borders, with the aim of reducing threats to national peace and security.
As regional and major entry point commanders, you represent the operational backbone of the service. The efficiency of our border management systems, operational successes across the various commands depends significantly on your leadership, commitment, and cooperation. The evolving immigration landscape, rising transnational crimes, border security challenges, and rapid technological advances demand a more professional, innovative, and coordinated government immigration service.
In more news tonight, the Coalition of Civil Society Organizations Against Proliferation of Small Arms has described the directive of the Interior Ministry to revoke or suspend all existing civilian firearm licenses as one being handled in a rush and administratively unprepared manner. The coalition is asking the ministry to suspend what it describes as a blanket implementation of the directive and replace it with a phased region-by-region audit and revalidation process.
For the coalition, the directive may be good, but it must be implemented properly.
What interim protection exists for lawful owners who suddenly find themselves technically disarmed? It is not enough to say people should go for tests. Public administration is not an announcement. It involves planning, coordination, capacity, logistics, communication, documentation, and most importantly, accountability. Imagine thousands of firearm holders walking to Tesano Police Shooting Range for practical training. Imagine thousands reporting to NACOC for drug tests. Imagine the pressure on mental health institutions or professionals who are already under-resourced.
The solution, the coalition advocate, is not merely to revoke license, but rather to pass a modern law, adequately resource institutions, and build a credible national firearms database.
This is why we say the intention may be legitimate, but the implementation approach is problematic. There have been inadequate public education. Firearm regulations cannot be treated like a secret security operation. It affects public safety, lawful ownership, community trust, policing, and national security.
In response, the Executive Secretary of the National Commission on Small Arms and Light Weapons, Dr. Adam Bona, says the Commission will look at areas where they fall short in terms of public education and sensitization and work on them, although some education has already been done in that regard.
Let's not panic. But I want to reiterate that the minister didn't say, quickly run to the nearest police station and surrender your weapon to the police. And so maybe sometimes you can speak, and interpretation, it depends on who is interpreting and who is listening. And so I believe that just give us some time. I mean, all these things will be much clearer if, the CSOs and some section of the general public think that it is not too clear.
The Coalition of Civil Society Organizations Against the Proliferation of Small Arms expects the ministry to publish a clear national implementation protocol within a month.
You're watching News 360. We still have some more stories for you. Then there will be business as well as some sport news coming to you after these breaks. Stay with us.
I love President Charcoal. Why? When there are so many other charcoal toothpaste. That's both charcoal and lemon. Oh, does it? Yes. Look right here.
Yes. Pepsodent Charcoal has two of nature's powerful whitening ingredients. With the power of activated charcoal and lemon essence, it removes stains and whitens teeth naturally.
Convinced?
Well, I am. Just look at your beautiful Pepsodent smiles.
For naturally whiter teeth, Pepsodent Charcoal. Pepsodent.
Hello, my name is Pamela from Customer Service. Please revalidate your account by texting your Ghana card number to 0500,000 247.
Hey, Abili, wabadim.
Madam, give me the numbers behind your ATM card. I'm calling from the head office.
An email was delivered across to our customers this morning.
Confirm if this is your bank account. 100,100,100.
Thanks for sending your bank card details.
Send the OTP now to avoid cancellation.
EcoBank will never call, email, send an SMS asking for your PIN, OTP, bank card, or Ghana card details.
Don't get played. EcoBank, the Pan-African Bank.
Hello, please, I'm calling from Customer Experience Center.
Yes, next. Hey, Nadia Benson,
me didn't tum. Mr. Freddy Kakalika, just call me cockroach.
Now, Mr. Freddy once now.
Hey, is that you? Improve car. Yeah. Captain Mosquito, double the action.
Segment here on News 360. I am Michael Obodu. Now, finance and tax analyst says government of Ghana ahead of scheduled settlement of its $700 million Eurobond obligation as a major win for the country's financial landscape, predicting a swift rebound in investor sentiment. Reacting to the early payment, Nelson Kudjo-Agbeji noted that the strategic move is highly positive news for the broader market.
The payment of the $700 million Eurobond obligation ahead of schedule breaks down into $525.2 million in principal repayments and $174.8 million in interest payments. This latest payout pushes Ghana's total distributions to Eurobond holders to a staggering $2.1 billion since January 2025. The finance and tax analyst projected that the repayment will deepen market liquidity and pave the way for an upgrade in Ghana's credit ratings in upcoming sovereign assessments.
This is good news for the economy. This is good news for the market. We expect investor confidence to bounce back. We expect liquidity to be deepened, and we expect our rating to go up in subsequent rating.
However, Agbeji paired his optimism with a crucial warning regarding long-term fiscal sustainability. He urged the government to aggressively re-examine its economic strategy, stressing that Ghana must refocus and recalibrate its efforts towards strengthening the external sector.
As a country, I think we need to refocus and recalibrate our effort more towards the external sector in order to rake in the needed effects to support some of these payments and also support the stability of the Ghana cedi.
In a related development, technical advisor at the Ministry of Finance, Dr. Theo Echampong, has revealed that the Eurobond payment will have no impact on the exchange rate or the country's foreign exchange reserves.
It is not at the expense of the reserves of the country. It's actually really a more proactive liability management operation that the government and the Ministry of Finance is undertaking. You also get a little bit of savings from the time difference in terms of the interest that you would have paid.
For Ghana to permanently safeguard the cedi and comfortably meet future obligations, a strategic aggressive shift towards bolstering the external sector is non-negotiable.
Businesses in parts of the capital affected by recent flooding are calling on the government to allocate part of the planned 300 million cedis relief package to help them recover and resume operations. The president announced the intervention after torrential rains submerged homes, businesses and other structures, leaving many counting significant losses.
The constant hum of generators pumping floodwater, the piles of mud and debris, and the expressions of despair tell the story of communities struggling to recover. Last week's heavy rains inundated several parts of the capital within hours, catching many residents and business owners off guard.
That's Nizam Bas, the water entered it. This morning we have to drain and then take care of them. So in fact, we face a very hectic problem this morning.
Many are still coming to terms with the scale of their losses.
I know how much effort and time we put into this. Losing this amount of goods was really shocking. I started crying like a baby.
For others, uncertainty now extends beyond damaged property, with concerns growing over the security of their jobs.
90 plus staff, we might have to downsize to be able to manage the situation in the meantime. That means that a lot of people are going to go home, and then incomes for households are going to be cut short, families are going to be affected.
In response to the disaster, the president directed that 300 million cedis be made available to support relief and recovery efforts. But business owners say part of the fund should be used to help affected enterprises reopen, protect jobs, and restore livelihoods.
We're hoping that we'll get a piece of that, at least to help us take care of our costs and our damages. Also, if we could get some reliefs, we'll be grateful. Because as you can see, a lot of the goods are perishable goods. They are all damaged. And as it stands now, there's not much we can do.
And that'll be all for the business segment here on News 360. I am Michael Obodu. Let's bring you updates now from the currency and the commodities market.
Thank you so much, Michael. Let's now continue with the rest of our stories. And a Ramsar site and a water retention basin at Malam Junction in the Greater Accra region is being filled with waste and significant portions being developed barely a year after President John Mahama ordered authorities to restore the wetlands. What appears to be unauthorized development on the wetlands is causing severe flooding in the area and crippling the natural flood retention capacity of the area. Christian Yali reports.
Destruction of the natural sponges in this area has severely reduced the wetland's size. The June 29 rainstorm caused a massive, devastating flood that inundated Malam, Gbawe, and the adjoining areas. Residents have cited the heavy encroachment on this Ramsar site as one of the factors. In April 2025, President Mahama visited the Malam Junction Ramsar site and directed immediate demolition of all structures being erected and asked a private company filling the wetland to cease works and restore the site.
The assembly here, how did you sit and allow this to happen? Can you imagine the volume of water that this place alone can hold when it rains? And so if you fill it up and you say there should just be a drain passing through, the drain cannot contain that water. They should remove all this, and it should be at the cost of the people who did it. They should take this back where they brought it from.
But his orders appear not to have had the impact needed. My visits to the area after the June 29 heavy floods show ongoing construction works and walls being erected. Buildings have been built and active works ongoing close to the base of the Malam interchange, which is seen holding significant amount of water. Drone shots obtained show tricycles dumping waste around the Makati area, and the part of the Ramsar site is affected.
Ramsar site is not meant for development. Effect too much. Authorities and answer or more concerned say also maybe be found into a one or more minor
In the Malam town, a house close to the transport station went viral after the torrential rains flooded a compound house almost to the rooftop. A week later, I visited the area where residents are still struggling to bounce back.
We've lost almost everything to the floods. Some are falling sick. Government must support us to rent in safer areas. We want to relocate from here. I deal in second-hand clothing in my house because I don't have a shop. Everything is gone.
And so when you talk to residents around, this drain is one thing that they mention, and you realize that the floodwaters heaped substantial volumes of rubbish on the foundation of the bridge which is here. One concern also is that if anything, then authorities should consider erecting some walls on the edges of this drain, because whenever a machine comes here to drill the area, they heap the sand on the edges. The rain just washes everything back into this.
Those structures are by the gutters must be demolished so that when the machines come and maybe they are even constructing the gutter, they can get space to put their materials and work on the gutter so that the whole area will be free.
Government should step in with immediate effects across the areas.
No one was spared by the impact of the floods, but urgent action is needed to stop ongoing encroachment on the wetlands and illegal development there. Christian Yale, TV3 News.
This is News 360. We have more stories after this break. Stay with us.
Why? The sun come out to play.
It's bright like you.
Why? Why want to play all day?
You are growing.
Hello, good evening and welcome to the sports segment here on News 360. My name is Bill Ishena. Rumors have been swirling that Carlos Queiroz has stepped down as Black Stars head coach after comments he made in a statement that circulated widely on social media. But three sports sources insist the Portuguese tactician has not resigned, saying his remarks have been taken out of context. Here is what we know.
Well, contrary to the rumors spread on the internet in the last 24 hours regarding Carlos Queiroz and his exit as Black Stars head coach, 3 Sports can confirm for you that Queiroz still remains as post as Black Stars head coach. Remember that Queiroz joined the Black Stars in April, signing a 4-month contract which involved him leading the Black Stars to the 2026 World Cup, which he's done. And Queiroz has already overseen 5 games as Black Stars head coach, starting from the game against Wales in an international friendly and ending in the game against Colombia. After the game against Colombia, days after that, Queiroz released a statement detailing Ghana's journey and how everything transpired at the World Cup. That particular statement has generated a lot of conversation on social media, with individuals and also some people claiming that Carlos Queiroz has decided to step down from the Black Stars job. But we can confirm for you, our sources close to the Black Stars team indicate that Carlos Queiroz still remains as Black Stars head coach. Remember that the Black Stars will next be in action in September when they do take on Ivory Coast in the African Cup of Nations qualifiers. It remains to be seen if Carlos Queiroz will be at the helm of affairs when the Black Stars play that encounter.
To some more stories, one decision has overshadowed the football at the 2026 FIFA World Cup. FIFA's controversial move to suspend the automatic one-match ban handed to United States striker Folarin Balogun has sparked fierce criticism across the footballing world, raising fresh questions about sporting integrity, political influence, and whether the rules apply equally to everyone.
Folarin Balogun was sent off in the United States' round of 32 victory over Bosnia and Herzegovina after a VR review deemed his challenge worthy of a straight red card. And that disciplinary matters should be decided independently, not through political intervention. And that political angle came after US President Donald Trump confirmed he personally asked FIFA President Gianni Infantino to review the incident. Trump said, "All I did was ask for a review because I didn't think that was a foul," before praising FIFA's verdict as a brilliant decision. Current FIFA President Gianni Infantino came out to defend the decision, stating, "FIFA's judicial bodies are independent. They will praise autonomously, apply the FIFA disciplinary code, and decide cases based on the applicable regulations and specific facts before them." He added that.
Now, an emotional Neymar said his international career for Brazil was over after his side's 2-1. He said, quote, I tried, now it's over. I started here, I finished here." That's what he said in an interview with TV Global following his side's exit. Neymar's debut for Brazil came in the same stadium at August 2010 when he scored in a 2-0 friendly win external against the United States. He has gone on to become Brazil's all-time leading goal scorer with 80 goals, while his 130 appearances for his country puts him second on the all-time list behind Cafu's 142. That's it for the sports segment here on News 360. My name is Bill Ishen.
In my line of work, a confident smile is everything.
Good evening and welcome to the entertainment news segment here on News 360. My name is Noella Donko. Now, hundreds of young people in Suhum have embarked on a peaceful walk and awareness campaign against illicit drug abuse, urging stronger action to protect the youth from substance addiction. The Suhum Youth Rave concert combined education and entertainment to promote responsible living. Naftali Ba has more.
After losing close friends, colleagues and family members to illicit drug abuse, youth activists in Suhum are stepping up efforts to address the growing menace of substance abuse. Hundreds of residents joined a peaceful walk through the principal streets of the municipality, briefly slowing traffic as they carried placards and delivered anti-drug messages to the public. The campaign was aimed at educating young people on the devastating effects of narcotic abuse, which continues to destroy lives and rob many of their future.
Avoid the use of narcotics, especially the new emerging over-the-counter drugs.
The awareness walk was followed by an educational forum where officials from the Narcotics Control Commission, the Food and Drugs Authority, the Suhum Municipal Assembly and other stakeholders engaged participants on the dangers associated with drug abuse. The convener of the Suhum project, Richard Boachi Yemo, called for intensified efforts to crack down on individuals involved in the distribution and sale of illicit drugs within communities. Yemo appealed to government agencies, security services and the private sector to strengthen collaboration in the fight against substance abuse.
If we want to clamp down on drugs, there are distributors, there are chains of distribution. We are urging the government, including our personal help, advocacy. Let's clamp down those people behind the selling of these drugs to young people. I've lost close friends due to drugs. Just this year, even just last month, I lost a friend out of drug abuse.
Corporate organizations also joined the campaign, with Oak Barrels, producers of Jojo energy drink, encouraging young people to make responsible lifestyle choices and avoid substance abuse.
And we are telling our consumers that they should not abuse alcohol. They should take responsibly. Anything illicit drug, they should do away with it. And that is why we're joining this Suhum Youth Rave to campaign against illicit drug and telling everybody to drink responsibly.
The day's activities climaxed with a major entertainment concert headlined by Red Means Stop ambassador AMG Medical, alongside other performances aimed at promoting positive youth engagement. The Suhum Youth Rave, under the Suhum Project, a year-round initiative designed to advocate for youth development, promote responsible lifestyles and champion community development across the municipality.
Well, that's it for the entertainment news segment here on News 360. My name is Noella Donko.
Thank you so much, Noella. On the international front, the UN Human Rights Council on Monday passed a motion condemning the escalating violence committed by the paramilitary rapid support forces in Sudan's Al Obeid and setting up an urgent inquiry into alleged abuses there. Britain, which brought the motion alongside 14 other states, has previously warned of the risk of large-scale atrocities as the RSF massed forces around one of Sudan's largest cities. The siege recalls the takeover of Al-Fashir in North Darfur last year. The UN Human Rights Chief warned on Friday that a catastrophe was unfolding around Al Obeid and that his office had documented patterns of summary executions, abductions, torture, and sexual violence in the surrounding region.
We're grateful that you spent the last hour with us. This is News 360. Thank you so much for watching the bulletin. I'm Noble Crosby.
And I am Portia Gabo. Up next is the pre-match discussions of the football match between Portugal and Spain. Good evening.